Hello, YouTube! Welcome back to another exciting Cooking with Denoy episode. In this episode, we're going to use our leftover ingredients from earlier today that I purchased, which is basically this Dollar Tree mixed vegetables. I do have some leftover rice, white rice, that I'm going to be using up. And also some rotisserie chicken that I'll be using for the meat. I'm basically just going to make white rice in this thing. I want to make enough for one serving, for one person. I think that should be enough. That should be more than enough. And add some water. Basically, the ratio, for those of you wanting to know, is about 2 to 1. 2 cups of, basically twice as much water as rice. How do I tell this twice as much? I just eyeball it. I just pour the water in there and have it a little bit above the rice. Now, the idea is that the rice will actually boil and absorb all the extra water. So that's what's supposed to happen. I'm going to add just a little bit more. Alright, I think that should be enough. And what happens is the rice, as you cook it up, which we're going to turn the stove on here in a minute. Alright, we got our fire. So we're just going to boil. And it helps when you're cooking rice to use a lid that has like a little hole in it. Because what that's going to do is allow the steam to escape. And when all the steam evaporates completely, almost completely, that's when you know the rice is done. So in the old days, you had to heat it up. When the rice got to a certain point, it had soaked up all the water. You poured out the excess water. But nowadays, with these vented lids, all you have to do is just put about twice as much water as rice, let it heat up to boil, then pour out. Well, you don't have to pour anything out. The rice will be done at that point. Once we cook the rice, we're just going to rip up some meat and toss it in. We're also going to toss in our frozen vegetables and some soy sauce. And that's pretty much it. And for serving, I'll eat the rice like that, but I'll probably put in some peppers, some crushed red peppers, and some lemon to give it a little bit more zing. In the meantime, we're just going to go ahead and let this simply boil up. It should take about 3-4 minutes, maybe. Alright, I went away a little bit too long and left this sitting here by itself without watching it. And I did burn a little bit of the rice. You're not supposed to leave the rice. All the water had evaporated. It actually looks like it might still need to cook a little bit more, but that's alright. The frozen veggies will have some moisture in it, and I might even add a little bit more water. So I'm going to throw in the frozen vegetables right now. Okay, I think that should be enough frozen vegetables. Look at that. And we're also going to toss in the meat. So the meat is essentially just chicken, rotisserie chicken that I have set aside. It looks like chicken breasts. So I'm just going to rip this up into little chunks. Actually, not a breast because there's a bone there. So we're going to have a little bit of meat in here. This is supposed to be for one serving for tonight. So I'm just ripping up some meat, and this will actually make sure that the meat gets thoroughly cooked. Alright, and it looks like that is it. The last piece of ingredient, if you want to call it that, the last thing we need to do is add some soy sauce. So I'm going to mix this up a little bit. Heat is off right now, by the way. I turned it off, but I'm going to turn it back on here in a minute on warm. But all I'm going to do simply at this point is just add some soy sauce. So I got my soy sauce here in the big, huge, giant container because I use this big, huge one. And what I'm going to do is actually pour some onto a little a little lid here, and just pour it on here. I'm probably going to use about 3 capfuls, maybe 4. Let me move this out of the way. 3 or 4 capfuls of soy sauce. Oops, well, that was a little much. I think that's enough. I think I have enough, more than enough soy sauce there. Okay, and that is it for our soy sauce. The next thing I want to do at this point is turn the heat back on. Okay, fire is up, but we don't need it hot. We just want it on warm mode. All we're going to do is just heat things up and kind of let it steam off the extra soy sauce. We're just coating everything to give it a nice brown color. And it's like pretty much done. This is it. This is Dinoy's El Cheapo Quico chicken fried rice. And it's going to be tonight's dinner. I am making it right now, even though I'm not that hungry. But I'm making it, and then I will be storing it. I'm just going to save it. I can put it in my rice cooker and heat it up while I'm driving and have it hot for dinner. It looks like the rice isn't fully cooked. So what I may do is, well, it's still moist. So what I can do is just seal it and let it keep cooking. So right now, I don't know if you can see this. Let's bring the camera in. This is what it looks like. You can see the rice is still not fully cooked. But by putting the lid on it, I can put my little lid on here. It's got on warm, it's on warm right now. Just let it sit like that for a while. That should let the rice cook up. And because I added soy and also it has frozen vegetables, which have some moisture in it, it should cook right up. I do have a little bit of leftover vegetables, but I don't want to add any more because it may be too much. You don't want to eat and there's nothing but vegetables in there. Then, it doesn't taste like fried rice. It tastes like fried vegetables. Stir-fried vegetables. So I will let this sit for a little bit to absorb more of the moisture from the soy sauce and the frozen vegetables. And then this dish is pretty much done. All I have to do at this point, if I wanted to, if I had a freezer, I could actually bag it up and freeze it and save it, and heat it up like a microwave to eat it. Or for tonight, what I'm going to do is put it in a little container and just carry it with me. And then when I'm ready to eat it, I can toss it into my rice cooker in the van and turn on the inverter cooking system and let it heat up while I drive. So when I get to the destination, the rice will be pretty much done. It'll just be as if I cooked it fresh. And all I have to do is take it out, prepare it for serving by putting it on a plate or something. Throw in my, for adding additional flavor to finish it off, I will just toss in some crushed red pepper and a little bit of lemon. This will bring out the zing in it. And then the food is done. That's all you need. So let's take a look again at our food. Doesn't that look so good? Smells good. If I wanted to, what I could do, maybe just to enhance the flavor a little bit. You guys know what I'm going to add? Yeah, it's our magical badia. Actually, you know what? Instead of adding badia, we're going to use something that a little bit different that we had used earlier. Because I know this is full of salt. All sorts of other crazy stuff. This is the chicken tortilla flavoring. So I'm just going to use the chicken tortilla flavoring and just sprinkle it on the food there. And that will give me some saltiness. So this is a good way to take advantage of those ramen noodle flavoring packets. This way I don't have to add any salt. It's already got salt in this thing here. So basically I have like half a packet. I still have a little bit left in here. I don't even think I want to use the whole half. Because this is super, super salty. But that should give it some chicken tortilla flavoring. And I'm going to consider this meal pretty much done. It's a matter of reheating it up. And should be good to eat. Nice and hot. Look at that. I don't know, this rice does not look done to me. I might add a little bit of moisture. Maybe add just a little bit of water and let it continue to steam up. I think I'm going to do that. Just a little bit of water. It's the thing about rice, you can always add water. I'm like, what's he doing? Well, I'm adding water, and what that's going to do is make it a little bit soggy. And I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit because I want this to kind of absorb. I want the rice to absorb the water because it looks to me like it's not done. It's not fully cooked. So it's super soggy now. And it's because I didn't use enough water initially, or it's spread out. You know, the pot's a little thick. So here we have it like this, and this looks like it does have enough water now. So what I will do simply is just put the lid on it and let it sit and heat up. And what's going to happen is it's going to heat that water up, and it's going to steam the rice, and it should be done after that. So I would just let it sit and just simmer for a little bit and call it a day. So until next time, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope it gives you some ideas. If you're living in a van, you can make this stuff up, bag it up into little bags, and put it in your little cooler if you have a cooler, so you can eat it like within 1 or 2 days. You know, it should keep fairly well if you keep it chilled. If you have the ability to freeze it, you could freeze it and use it weeks later, you know, a week or two. It should be fine once you thaw it out. And heating it up, you know, if you don't have the ability to heat things on a stove, you could simply just toss the bag onto your dashboard, under your vehicle's windshield dash, and let the sun heat it up. Because all you're doing is warming the food up so it's not so cold, so it tastes warm. Because the food's already done. Okay, so it's a good way to save some money and use up all your leftover ingredients. So until next time, everyone, take care. God bless you all. I hope that you're doing well wherever you are and enjoying the area around you, the nature and wildlife, if you happen to be around any, and taking advantage of every day that you've given. So until next time, God bless you all. Take care. Bye-bye now.